Hello and welcome to today's show through a trauma-informed lens, Soma, Psyche and Soul. I'm Aneta Itchak and I want to welcome you with gratitude into this space. Let's begin with arriving in this space. I want to invite you to just slow down, pause for a moment, maybe take a deep breath, just one breath. And let it be soft and nourishing. How would you do your breath, or how would you allow it to be if you brought that quality of softness and nourishment into it? Let yourself arrive in this space, not just within your body, but in the fullness of your experience, in a way that really allows you to be here now for the next few minutes. Because today I want to explore something with you, something that touches everything, and that something is connection. And I want to explore it in the relationship with something else that is really deeply healing and profound in our lives when we practice it on a regular basis, and that is gratitude. Because one of the most powerful doorways to connection is embodied gratitude. So whether you are holding space as a coach or a teacher or a therapist for others, whether you're launching a new offering and you're working and growing your business, or whether you are sitting across from someone that you love and care about, connection is what makes it all real. It's what makes it all matter. But true connection, that always begins within you. I want to share a little story with you here today, and I want to share something that's been happening for me over the last 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. I've been feeling a true disconnection from the online world, from the world of social media. I've been feeling aversion and even disgust from the constant noise, from the exaggerated and hyped up promises, from lack of honesty in so much of what I've been seeing in the social media. And I know I'm not the only one. Let me know if you feel exactly the same way. I know that so many of us feel this way, that we really disconnected from the social media because of what we've been seeing in it. And I found myself really asking, do I even want to be part of this anymore? Do I want to be part of something that is bringing up so many strong emotions within me? And the only thing that I could do at the time was to step away from the social media. And what I didn't realize at the time is that I shifted into an avoidance strategy. This is something that, I can do a lot. I learned it as a child. When I don't know what's happening, when I can't really create boundaries, when I don't know how to be with something, I withdraw. And so I stepped away and I paused, I listened, I reflected, I stayed engaged in a very minimal way, but ultimately I didn't know if I wanted to continue. I knew that the way that I was feeling about the social media and about the online space was not working for me. I knew that it was completely misaligned with my values, with what I hold deeply dear, the deep connection, the safe enough spaces, the seeing each other in our humanness, listening deeply to each other. This is not what I was experiencing in the online spaces. When I say online spaces, I'm talking about the social media. And so I needed this time to reflect and to really understand what's all of that about. And if you've done any of this kind of work before, you know that you might have this felt sense of something there, but it's so entangled. It's, oh my God, what is all of this about? What is really going on for me? Am I just in an avoidance mode? Am I just finding marketing and promotion too hard? And this is what it's about? Or am I really experiencing something in here that really needs to be listened to? Maybe I'm just experiencing this upper limit, and maybe I'm not made for all of those thoughts that come up when we experience self-doubt or when something feels disconnected from our deepest values and what's most important to us, what is our priority within our life. And because I'm very kinesthetic, I feel very deeply, I experience everything within my body. I needed to take a step back and understand what's all of that about. What are the feelings? What are the thoughts and the stories? What is the life meaning within that? And luckily enough, I've learned over the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, a practice called focusing, or as I like to call it, embodied listening, something that I teach in the training certifications that I run. I knew that I needed that space and I needed to listen to different parts of me and different felt senses and see what's the connection, what's the meaning within that. And something really wonderful happened when I allowed myself to let go of lots of different things and projects that felt within my body, they weren't aligned. When I allowed myself just to be with it, when I exhausted myself searching for answers outside, searching how I can fix, can somebody tell me what to do, how to do it? When I finally exhausted myself with all of this, and believe me, it wasn't pretty and it wasn't a nice process, I came to a realization that connection is the most important thing for me, and that the voice that I have and the work that I do need to be shared and need to be shared with others. Because if I am not doing that, I am not standing by the work that I am doing. So the connection that is important to me is not this surface level, fast paced, shiny connection. There's photos of at the back with the background of the yacht or in shiny dresses. This is just not who I am. That doesn't resonate. If it resonates for you, that's absolutely fine. But I've never been like that. If I try to do it in this way, it feels so disconnected from the core essence of who I am and what I deeply value. And so the connection that matters to me is the kind of connection that feels like a soft exhale, that feels safe enough to be myself, who I am, and see others for who they are, that feels so deeply in its simplicity, it feels so human. So I know that we can fake connection, especially in the online spaces like social media. But eventually people feel when something is off. And this is what happened to me. I felt that there was so much stuff that just felt so off. And everything in me was screaming and I couldn't be a part of it. So I want to be part of a different kind of connection, one that is rooted in presence, in truth, in the body, psyche, and soul, that is really rooted within the beauty and richness of life. And so the question has become not, do I participate and do I share my voice in the social media kind of space, And the question shifted into, how can I do it with more alignment and more integrity, in alignment with my values? Because the question wasn't anymore, do I do it or do I not do it? The question comes from understanding I have to do it, but how do I do it in a way that feels right for me? And so it led me back to, it always leads me into this question, where does connection really begin? And how do I feel within my body when I am connected, when I am in alignment with my deepest value, with my integrity and authenticity? And the answer to that is that the connection always begins with how you relate to yourself. And this is where the answers can be found. The answers to the question that I've been sitting with, and the answers to the questions that you have about healing and growth, growth as a human being, growth as a practitioner, growing your business. All of those answers lie within you. And so we can begin with the questions like, do you listen to your body with kindness and compassion and curiosity? Have you allocated time and space to understand that communication that is coming in every single moment from your body, without trying to fix it or improve it or make it better or make it different? Do you allow yourself to acknowledge your pain with kindness and compassion, and meet yourself with kindness when things get hard? Because here is the thing, so many of us want to be seen and acknowledged by others. We want to belong. We want to be accepted. But so often we abandon ourselves, especially when we are struggling, especially when things are not going our way. When we have a project or offering that didn't go our way, we take out a big stick and we bash ourselves over the head. We criticize ourselves. We tell ourselves that we are a failure, that we are not good enough, that we're never going to be good enough, that we don't have what it takes to make it happen, our dreams to come true. We disconnect within. But here is the thing. You are the only person you will live with for the rest of your life. Other people come and go. Sometimes they stay for a moment. Sometimes they stay for a few years or decades. But the only person that stays with you always, from your birth to your death, is you. And every part of you that is part of your internal family system, every part of you is longing to be seen, witnessed, and held with love. So if you want to deepen your connection with others, my invitation to you is that you begin reconnecting with you, with all your parts, the parts that are joyful, the parts that are playful, the parts that are struggling, the critical parts, the perfectionist part, all of the different parts. So you stop the inner war of trying to control, trying to fix, trying to improve, and you begin by holding space and listening. Holding space with kindness and compassion. This is why kindness and compassion are such vital parts of our healing. Because when we learn to extend that kindness and compassion to ourselves, we open the door to offering it to others without losing ourselves in the process. because how we do one thing is how we do everything. If we lose ourselves in the process of holding space for others, if we abandon ourselves, we usually abandon ourselves in so many different ways and circumstances and contexts. And this is why one of the things that can really help, the practice that can make huge difference, is holding a practice of gratitude, soul-led, embodied gratitude. Gratitude for the body that is your home in this life. Gratitude for the people who witness us with compassion and kindness. Gratitude for the journey itself, your life journey itself, even when it's messy. And we all know most of the time it's very messy. Life is messy, life is chaotic, and it's an illusion that we can control it. So bringing that softness into it, allowing the gratitude to become a bridge for who you are and who you're becoming. Gratitude that is built on joy and self-acceptance and being good enough and having enough and connecting and being in the present moment. Because we have so much already. The mind can tell us, I don't have this and I don't have resources and I don't have that. But if you already have roof over your head, if you already have work that you like, if you have a running cold and hot water, if you have a working toilet, if you have food in your fridge and in your home, and then if you've got a car, and if you've got a computer, and if all of those different things that we just take for granted without realizing that actually most of the world and people within that world, they don't have that. And so the gratitude can become a bridge to acknowledging the abundance that you already have and acknowledging and appreciating who you already are and who you're becoming. And this approach of this and that, I already love and appreciate who I am and what I have. I'm so grateful for it. And I am becoming and opening my heart and my soul and my body and my mind to opportunities and synchronicities and more of what I love. But if we don't bring that gratitude into here, what happens is we come from this space of not enoughness. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. I don't earn enough money. I don't have enough clients. I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough. I'm not happy with what I have because it's not enough. It's much harder than to move into a process of becoming that is joyful, that is based on integrity and authenticity and exploration, experimentation, having fun, having joy, and a sense of I am enough and I'm open to more joy, more love, more peace, more spaciousness, more creativity, because I'm not doing it from a sense of lack and a sense of disconnection. I'm doing it from a sense of deep appreciation, gratitude, and connection within, and knowing that my voice matters. that I can share that it's important, and that I'm going to share it because I believe in it. And what I see is that it works. And so this is what my process has been. It's shifting back into the sense of gratitude, a sense of gratitude for the online space, like social media, that allows me to share the work that I do, that allows me to connect with loads of different people and invite people to our training spaces, into our programs, that I have a platform where I can share my voice. And the thing for me that happened is that I allowed myself to reconnect and open my heart to what I hear within our training space in our academy. Every time I hold a circle or a training session, I witness the power of connection. Women arrive, often tired or tender or unsure or guarded, and then they soften. They are witnessed, they are held in safe enough space to open for that softness, to open for a bit more vulnerability, to open and share the fullness of the experience, not just toxic positivity and pretending that you know the answers. And something begins to open and heal. There is so much growth. There is so much taking back a sense of power for themselves in a way that works for them. I've heard so many times over the last few years feedback that this is life-changing, or I didn't know that I needed this, and now that I have it, oh God, it makes so much sense. Or saying, no wonder I'm feeling like this. No wonder. It makes sense now. And so when I hear things like that, it fills my heart with such deep gratitude. It changes my nervous system state and my physiological state. Sometimes as I arrive, I'm also in a space that lots been happening. And I feel how my heart melts and how I reconnect and how I have this deep embodied knowing, oh my God, this work is so powerful. Us coming together as a community is so powerful, so deeply healing. And this is why in my exploration of do I show up in the social media spaces, the exploration shifted into, of course, it's no brainer. I have to show up. I have to be another voice in that conversation. The question is, how do I do it now that is really connected with my deepest values? And so the shift was, how can I shift not from pressure, not from hyped up promises, but from a space of love and connection? Because if I don't speak about this work, the women who need it might never find it. So the responsibility in this process for me is not that I somehow control and manipulate what happens, but that I show up in the fullness and the strength and the power of my voice and this work. So check in with yourself whether that resonates, whether you've been having your own version of this process, of this reflection, this exploration. And maybe let's do it together. Maybe take a moment to connect with yourself in this moment. Maybe just bring your awareness and attention within your body. Reconnect with the present moment and with your own presence. Maybe if it feels like you can't reconnect in this moment, you could do a little bit of orienting. So looking around the space of your immediate environment, orienting within your immediate environment and allowing yourself to feel supported by your immediate environment. Maybe you could orient towards the ground, so do a bit of grounding, allowing yourself to fully acknowledge and feel the support of Mother Earth underneath you. How you are held in that steady way. And knowing that you don't have to do anything to have that support of Mother Earth in this moment. Maybe if it works for you, you could place a hand on your heart or your belly and feel your breath. Feel the aliveness and the movement of your body in this moment. Coming back home within your body. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to improve anything. You don't have to make anything better. A simple acknowledgement of how you are and your own aliveness in this moment. And then maybe you could ask yourself, what needs connection within me today? What needs acknowledgement? What needs honoring? Maybe there is a part of you that needs connection and acknowledgement and listening. Maybe there is a vague sense, felt sense of something unclear yet, and yet wanting attention. Maybe you could allow yourself to pause and listen with curiosity, with kindness, with openness, creating a bit of space to listen. And whatever comes up, maybe you could whisper something kind to that part or that felt sense or that inner knowing. Maybe you could breathe in a little gratitude for this connection, this moment, this breath. And gratitude that you are here, that you're listening, and that it matters. Knowing that this is available to you always, in any moment. Whatever is happening, you can choose to turn inward and listen within. Acknowledge, witness, listen, and honor how you feel. What's going on for you? What's your lived, felt experience in this moment? Because connection is not something outside of you. Connection is a way of being, a way of relating to yourself, to others, and to the world. So wherever you are on this journey, whether you are holding space for others through coaching or teaching or yoga or movement or breath work or other wellness practices, or you seeking a space where you could be held and accept it. I invite you to come home to yourself first, to give yourself that time and space to soften, to listen, to meet yourself however you are in the fullness of your experience. When you do this on a regular basis, something really wonderful happens. You start to build trust with your inner experience. You start to build harmony and heal the connection with different parts of yourself. You start to relate to your daily experience in a different way. That practice of gratitude and connection will change who you are. I know it's done it for me. I've seen it happen to other people. I've witnessed it in my one-to-one sessions and in our training courses. It will change you from a person who sees themselves as not being good enough and not having enough into a person who is connected within, connected with life, connected and having enough and being enough. So my invitation to you is do this connection and gratitude experiment for 30 days at least, if not 90, if not half a year, 6 months of this real appreciation and gratitude on a daily basis, but not just 10 things. A gratitude maybe for 10 and 15 minutes, whether you say it or you write it down. Really allowing yourself to experience it within your body. And the kind of gratitude that is not just for good things, but for everything. For the learning that comes from challenging and difficult times as well. And when you do that, you will notice that it's changed your self-concept, your identity, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to others. And it builds a deep, profound sense of self-trust and trust in life. So that's my invitation to you. Don't take my word for it. Try it out for yourself and see the magic happen. And of course, if you feel called to deepen your connection in safe, embodied and soul-led spaces, our programs like Trauma-Informed Somatic Teacher and Coach for Women Training Certification might be the space for you. Because life is too precious to spend it feeling disconnected, numb out, lonely, and unkind to yourself. You deserve as a human being to be seen, to be held and supported. You deserve to experience joy, love, peace of mind, prosperity, a sense of thriving. Not because of who you are or because you tried hard enough to prove yourself, but because you are a human being. That is the gift of life to each one of us. So I hope you found this episode helpful, and thank you for being here today, and I wish you a really good rest of the day. Take care for now.